The Cleveland Cavaliers are not just good, they are breathtakingly elite. Watching them play is like witnessing a symphony of basketball excellence, with each player seamlessly contributing to an unstoppable force. They have redefined what dominance looks like, playing with a cohesion and brilliance that few teams in history can match. Every game they play feels like a masterclass in execution, with every pass, shot, and defensive rotation reflecting a team that is entirely in sync. Their chemistry is unparalleled, their strategy impeccable, and their results undeniable. At 53-10, they have already clinched a playoff spot, establishing themselves as a juggernaut in the NBA. Their net rating of plus 11.3 ranks among the greatest in NBA history, a stat that proves their two-way dominance. They are on pace to become only the 5th team ever to win 69 games in a season, putting them in the company of legends like the 96 Bulls, the 72 Lakers, and the 17 Warriors. Those teams are remembered as some of the greatest of all time, and yet somehow people still hesitate to give Cleveland the same level of recognition. The numbers alone tell the story of a historic powerhouse. They are dismantling teams on both ends of the floor, playing at a level that suggests championship destiny. Their offense is a relentless machine, their defense a suffocating force, and their depth unmatched. Every night, they find a new way to impose their will on the opposition, leaving little doubt that they belong among the elites of this game. And yet, despite all this, doubt still lingers in certain corners of the basketball world. How? Why? This is a team that is rewriting the record books, proving that they have what it takes to be crowned champion. If the Cavaliers were playing in a bigger market, we would already be discussing them as one of the greatest regular season teams ever. But because they are Cleveland, the respect hasn't fully arrived yet. The truth is, we are watching something truly special. A team that is changing how we perceive dominance in the modern NBA. If you are an opposing team, you should be terrified. The Cleveland Cavaliers are doing things we have rarely seen in the history of this sport, and the idea of stopping them feels impossible. This is not just a team on a hot streak. This is a team breaking the league, dismantling opponents with ruthless efficiency. They are on a 13-game win streak, averaging 126.1 points per game during that stretch, an absurd level of offensive firepower that hasn't been seen in over half a century. That level of scoring dominance places them alongside the legendary 72 Lakers and 60 Celtics, teams that didn't just win championships, but obliterated their competition on the way there. Their ability to take over games is the stuff of nightmare. One moment you think you're in control, playing solid basketball, keeping up with them. Then, in the blink of an eye, Cleveland flips the switch, cranks up the intensity, and leaves you in ruin. They take the smallest sliver of momentum and turn it into an avalanche. This ability to strike fear into their opponents is what separates contenders from pretenders. They don't just win games, they dominate and demoralize. Their opposition often looks helpless as Cleveland executes play after play with surgical precision, leaving no room for mistakes. They have trailed in games before, but it never seems to matter. They always find a way back, clawing their way through deficits with an almost inevitable sense of purpose. A 9-point deficit with 5 minutes to go, no problem. A 20-point hole against a title contender, it only fuels them. The Cavaliers have that extra gear, that terrifying, unrelenting force that only true champions possess. When the playoffs arrive and teams find themselves staring down this juggernaut in a 7-game series, the fear will be real. Despite all of this dominance, there are still people who refuse to acknowledge Cleveland's greatness. It is disgusting how little respect they receive despite proving themselves over and over again. You hear the same lazy arguments from analysts, journalists, and fans. They haven't done it in the playoffs yet, or the Celtics are still the favorites. These statements are infuriatingly ignorant because they ignore the very nature of how great teams are built. Every single championship team in NBA history was once in this exact position, doubted before they had their crowning moment. The Warriors in 2015, people laughed at the idea of them winning it all until they did. The Celtics last season, they were doubted despite all the stats screaming they were the best team in basketball. What makes it worse is that if this exact Cavaliers roster were wearing Lakers or Celtics jerseys, the narrative would be entirely different. They would be hailed as a dynasty in the making. Every talk show would be debating whether they could go down as one of the greatest teams ever. Instead, because they are Cleveland, people refuse to buy in. The lack of respect is appalling. The numbers are historic. The players are elite. The performances are undeniable. Yet the Cavaliers continue to be downplayed, overlooked, and undervalued as if their success is some sort of fluke. It's not a fluke, it's a reality that many people are too stubborn to accept. But let's be real, the biggest roadblock to this team's inevitable rise is the Boston Celtics. And frankly, I hate how much they're treated as the chosen one. Yes, Boston is good, but why is it that Cleveland's dominance is dismissed, while the Celtics get all the praise? This Cavaliers team is just as historically great, yet the narrative remains the same. Boston is the favorite. The reality? The Cavaliers are built to beat them. They have a more dynamic offense, an equally terrifying defense, and an ability to close games in ways Boston simply can't match. The Celtics are standing in Cleveland's way, but this won't be a coronation for Boston. It will be a war. For years, the narrative in the Eastern Conference has been about Boston's inevitability, but what about Cleveland's? The Cavaliers have built a roster capable of shutting down Boston's biggest strengths while exploiting their weaknesses. The Celtics might have star power, but Cleveland has the versatility, defense, and offensive firepower to dismantle them. This will not be some walkover series for Boston. In fact, if they don't prepare for the fight of their lives, they will get steamrolled. The Eastern Conference Finals are on a collision course, and this Cavaliers team is more than ready to take down the so-called Kings of the East. The disrespect toward Donovan Mitchell is beyond infuriating. How is this man not getting the MVP buzz he deserves? Every single night, he tears defenses apart, breaks down double teams, and delivers clutch buckets with the poise of a champion. Yet the national media continues to push other narrative. Mitchell is playing the best basketball of his career. He has refined his shot selection, improved his playmaking, and elevated his efficiency, yet somehow he remains overlooked in the MVP conversation. It is absurd. If he were playing in New York or Los Angeles, they would already be writing his Hall of Fame speech, showering him with praise, and slotting him into the All-NBA first team discussion. Instead, he gets treated like just another star guard, rather than the leader of one of the best teams in NBA history. What more does Mitchell have to do to get the respect he deserves? He's proven time and time again that he can take over a game when it matters most. In clutch moments, when Cleveland needs a bucket, Mitchell is there, hitting step-back threes, attacking the rim, and creating for his teammates like a true franchise cornerstone. His defensive effort has improved, his leadership is evident, and his ability to dictate the flow of a game makes him one of the most dangerous offensive players in the league. Yet the MVP conversation is dominated by names like Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic, both of whom are having worse seasons on teams with less historic dominance. It is enraging to watch the media act like Cleveland doesn't have a legitimate superstar when Mitchell has proven time and time again that he is one of the best players in the world. If the Cavaliers win the title, people will look back and pretend they always knew Mitchell was a superstar, but right now, the disrespect is deafening. The Cleveland Cavaliers are not just a great regular season team, they are a playoff monster waiting to be unleashed. Every piece of this roster has been carefully constructed to succeed in the postseason, and once the playoffs start, the entire league is going to understand just how dangerous they are. Look at the balance of this team. A dominant shot creator in Mitchell, an elite secondary ball handler in Garland, the best defensive big in the NBA in Mobley, and a rim protecting enforcer in Allen. But what truly separates them is their depth. Every championship team needs reliable role player, and Cleveland has built an arsenal of them. DeAndre Hunter has been an underrated midseason addition, seamlessly fitting into their system and providing elite three-point shooting and perimeter defense. He was already having a career year in Atlanta, but now, surrounded by better teammates, his impact is even greater. Max Strus is a lethal shooter, a guy who can stretch the floor and hit momentum-shifting threes. Ty Jerome has quietly become one of the best backup guards in the NBA, averaging 12 points per game while shooting an insane 44% from three. Isaac Okoro has rounded out his game, hitting 39% from deep while still playing lockdown defense on the perimeter. Dean Wade, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen anchor a defensive system that suffocates teams and forces them into low percentage shots. The playoffs will be a test of resilience, adjustments, and execution, and this team is built for all of it. They have versatility, they have championship level defense, and they have an offense that can score in every possible way. There is no matchup that they can't handle. If they face Boston, they have the size and length to disrupt their shooter. If they face Milwaukee, they have the defensive presence to slow down Giannis. If they face Denver, they have the athleticism and physicality to challenge Jokic. This team has no weaknesses, only strengths that will become even more apparent when the intensity of the playoffs magnifies every detail. The anticipation is building, and the Cavs are ready for the moment. It's happening. We are watching history unfold before our eyes, and it is nothing short of beautiful. This team, this unstoppable force, is about to rewrite the narrative of the NBA, and there is no better feeling than knowing that we are witnessing something special in real time. The Cleveland Cavaliers are not just contenders, they are destined for greatness. The numbers prove it, the eye test confirms it, and the energy surrounding this team is electric. The city of Cleveland can feel it. The fans know that something legendary is about to happen. Basketball is about moments. Moments that define legacies, moments that cement teams in history. This Cavaliers squad is on the verge of creating those moments, the ones we will talk about for decades. The playoffs will be their proving ground. The finals are in sight, and if this team continues at this level, Cleveland will be raising the Larry O'Brien Trophy this June. They will silence every doubter, shut down every critic, and prove once and for all that this team is one of the greatest in NBA history. It won't be easy. Greatness never is. They will have to go through the Celtics, battle through a grueling playoff gauntlet, and stare down every opponent that dares to stand in their way. But they have everything they need to win a championship. The offensive firepower, the defensive dominance, the clutch factor, the hunger, it's all there. We are watching a team that is bigger than basketball. This is about rewriting history. This is about believing in something greater than what people expect. So tell me, are you still doubting them? Because if you are about to witness something unforgettable. The Cleveland Cavaliers are coming for everything, and when the confetti falls, we will look back and say, we saw it coming all along.